hear my fan in the background, I apologize. It is extremely hot. Actually, what is the temperature? But anyways, hi, if you're new here, my name's Leané. I have 2 books published. One is a low fantasy, the other is a historical romance. Currently, I'm working on the sequel to the low fantasy called If the Crown Fits. And if you're not new here, welcome back. I hope you enjoy the writing vlog. I hope you enjoy hanging out together. Maybe this gives you some writing inspiration. Maybe you're playing in the background as background noise, which, not gonna lie, I also love doing with YouTube videos. So either way, I hope you enjoy. It's a Monday afternoon and it is almost the end of November. Today's the 27th of November. And by this time, I was hoping that I would be done with the 5th draft of the sequel to If the Crown Fits. But unfortunately, as life happens, I am not. And because it's part of my personality, I like ticking things off. I like having things finished. I feel like I'm not going to be able to rest now that we're approaching the end of the year until this book is done on my part. I would like to get a bit of more like a professional opinion on it. I'd like to send out to beta readers when I'm done with this draft. But first things first, I need to finish this draft. So we're setting aside everything else, all other priorities. I'm only going to work in the mornings, and in the afternoon I want to come home and I want to sit and write on my laptop all afternoon if possible, obviously with breaks in between and so forth. But that is the only thing that I want to focus on until this draft is done. Now, technically speaking, that shouldn't take too long because we are already on the 5th draft, so it's not like we're drafting anymore. It's really just reading through, changing a few sentences here and there, adding maybe a few words here and there or taking away a few words. So it's a slow read through process, but it's not like I'm drafting thousands and thousands of words. Currently I'm on I just finished chapter 20, so I'm about to start chapter 21 of 33 chapters, or technically, yeah, it doesn't have an epilogue. I just forgot how my book ends there for a second, but 33 chapters. I think that's pretty much that's the gist of it. The gist of it is we're setting aside all other priorities. Oh, that's actually what I wanted to say, because the thing is, I need to film part 2 of the finishing the series and duologies I'm in the middle of. Like, I have a whole stack of books right there, the Shatter Me series, the Throne of Glass series. It is waiting for me, it's next to my bed, it's looking at me every single day, and I want to finish those series, but I feel like I can't really relax and read or do anything else because this draft is bothering me. So, we're just gonna hustle for the next couple of days. What's that word? Like, what do you call when people don't leave their houses and they just like sit inside? There's a word for that, I just can't think of it. My camera's battery just died very annoyingly, so I've charged it for like 5 minutes. Let's see how long it lasts. Basically what I wanted to say is the word I was thinking of was hermit. I was thinking of like a little hermit crab and this little hermit shell, and that's gonna be me hermiting in my bedroom for the next, like, let's say 2 weeks or so, maybe even less than that. Honestly, I think we can do it less than that if we like focus for a little bit. So yeah, it's an exciting process, and once we're done with this draft, it means like technically I'm on writing holiday, although just saying it is kind of already giving me separation anxiety from my book. I can't not be writing. I think that's part of me knowing that regardless of what other job I'm doing, I'm always going to be a writer, because not writing makes me unhappy. Not writing gives me anxiety. So yeah, like, it's already freaking me out to think that I'm not going to be working on this book, especially because I have been working on it this whole year. However, I do have another project that I'm kind of going to be dabbling with, if you will, over the December holidays. I think it was in August when this book was with my beta readers, or technically alpha readers, if you want to be very technical. When my book was with alpha readers, I started this other contemporary book, which I have so little information on. I haven't actually really drafted. I think I've written like 1 paragraph of the actual draft. Most of it has just been like little notes, little quotes, little chapter titles. I just have like a bunch of sticky notes and outlining ideas for this book. Truth be told, like, I think it's gonna be a while before this book actually turns into anything. I don't know if I want to publish it ever, or if I want to self-publish it, or like traditionally publish it. I don't know. That book is just like a completely separate thing, all on its own, that we're not even going to talk about yet. Right now, all we want to talk about is the sequel. That's all that matters. And then obviously book 3 after that, which I'm excited for. Like, so many things. You don't even know so many things. Honestly, I really hope you guys enjoy reading the story. But that is enough talking from my side. Yeah, I actually want to get down to writing now so that I can chill for the rest of the evening. I think I'm going to go on a walk a little bit later with my mom. And then I really want to finish watching season 2 of Loki. I think I only have 2 episodes left. And I've enjoyed it. Like, if you know me, you know Marvel, especially Loki, that's my thing. So my cat's name is Loki. Like, that should be enough said. So yeah, let's get to writing. Let's finish chapter 20. Ooh, that's a little bright, I'm sorry. Let's finish chapter 21. And that's all I have to say. That was a lot of rambling. I'm sorry. I'm gonna go right now. I just got home a little bit ago. It is Tuesday afternoon. It's been a long day. I worked until 3 and then I had a couple of other things to do, so that's why I only got home now. However, I have been writing this morning. I spent like a good hour writing during my break time at work, so we are currently busy with chapter 23, which is obviously great progress because that means when chapter 23 is done, we only have 10 chapters left of the book, which is really exciting because we're getting to all of the 10 stuff now. We're building up to the climax of the story. I think these few chapters are quite tense though, everything from basically chapter 21. It got to that point in the story where, you know, things were going well. You're thinking like, oh, this is nice, and then bam, conflict. You know, it's not quite the climax of the story yet, but it's getting to that part where conflict is starting to build up. So yeah, that's why I think it's just taking a little bit of time to get through these chapters because they are a little bit more detail intense, especially chapter 21 was quite detailed. We're gonna get all cozy for the evening and we're gonna have a good writing session and we'll see how it goes. Hopefully it goes well. But yeah, I think first things first, we need to get set up properly. I think we'll light some candles, we'll sit at our vintage desk, we'll have all the vibes. We're going for the vibes. I feel like these Christmas lights are gonna flash awkwardly because maybe I should just turn the Christmas lights off. So I asked you guys to ask me questions on Instagram so that we could chat a little bit about the book, because I realized, you know, I have been writing this for more than a year and I haven't really shared that much about it yet. All that you pretty much know is that it is the sequel to If the Crown Fits. I think that's all I've shared. If I've shared anything else about it, I honestly don't remember. So you guys asked me questions. I haven't read them yet. So we shall see what they are. But I'm quite excited to share a bit more about this story with you. Okay, the first one is, what was your favorite part to write? That's actually a good one. I think definitely one of my favorites off of the get-go was chapter 2. So for those of you who know, If the Crown Fits is written in dual perspective, so it's Lara Scott, and then I almost said the title of the book. This book is written with the same format, so it's Lara Scott. So chapter 2 is the first chapter in Scott's perspective, and we also get introduced to 2 new characters in this chapter, which I think is part of why it was so much fun to write. Just the dialogue between the 2 characters, it's a bit of, you know, witty banter going on, and there's a bit of humor. I don't know, it was just a really fun chapter to write straight from the get-go. I remember drafting the chapter for the first time just after I finished writing it. I was like, that was actually a really enjoyable experience. Like, I genuinely enjoyed writing chapter 2. So yeah, I think chapter 2 is definitely one of my favorites. I also really enjoyed writing chapter 5. Once again, I think it has a lot to do, sorry, my chair is gonna creak so much. I think it has a lot to do with the dialogue between the characters. What else? Yeah, especially the beginning chapters of the book. I really enjoyed writing the beginning chapters. Somebody else asked, do you have a release date yet? As of this point in time, I do not have a release date. Obviously, as soon as possible. The sooner would be so much better. I wish I had a release date. I wish I was able to tell you, oh, it's only so many days and then we're releasing this story, but alas, not yet. Obviously, hopefully, you know, in 2024, and hopefully as soon as possible is all I can say. Firstly, I need more of Scott and Laura. Secondly, where is Eloisa? Also, for those of you who are unsure, that character's name is pronounced Eloisa. I know it's spelled funny. I don't know why fantasy authors do this. We spell names weird because it looks more like artsy, but it's spelled E-L-O-I-S-A. And I don't know, I guess for some people maybe that would be like how you pronounce in your head. For some people maybe not. In case there was any confusion, that character's name is Eloisa. If you have not read If the Crown Fits yet, Eloisa is a princess of the kingdom of Everness, which is the kingdom that the story takes place in. So yeah, where is Eloisa? That's such a good question, and unfortunately I can't answer that question without spoiling many things about the plot. So sorry. That's all I can say. You will find out though. I promise that. You will find out where Eloisa is. When will it be released? I think there's a lot of when is it going to be released questions. I'm sure there is. Who is your favorite character and why? Ooh, that's difficult. Obviously, I love our main characters. I adore them. My heart. Yeah, I really love my main characters. However, we are introduced to a new female character in book 2. Her name is Gwen, and I can't tell you too much about her yet and how she is related to the other characters in the story. But yeah, if you read this book and you come across Gwen, you'll know she's definitely, I think, one of my favorite characters. I'm not quite sure what it is about her yet. She doesn't have, I mean, she is a new character, so you know, she doesn't have like that much in the story yet. There aren't that many chapters that include her, so I don't know, there's not a lot on her yet, but I feel like she has so much more potential in her as a character, and so we're definitely going to be exploring that in book 3. But yeah, I really like Gwen. Are you planning on making it a series? Yes, so If the Crown Fits is obviously book 1. This is going to be book 2, and then I also have book 3 in mind. Didn't I film the last clip in here as well? And currently I'm busy with chapter 26, which I will get into in a moment. That bag in the background is bothering me, not gonna lie. I'm gonna have to move it first. Yeah, so we're currently busy with chapter 26. There's a lot to unpack in this, which we'll get to in a second. I just want to do the second part of the questions that you guys sent me. Somebody else asked for a cover reveal, or when a cover reveal is coming, and yeah, I mean, at this stage obviously I haven't revealed anything yet, so there hasn't been a title reveal or a release date or a cover or anything like that. I don't remember what was the order I did it in last time with Till Death Do Us Part. I feel like it was a title reveal and then a cover reveal, if I remember correctly. Either way, at this stage, I don't have any reveal dates planned for anything yet, unfortunately. My friend asked What inspires you to write? Okay, obviously there's kind of like an imaginative, creative element to it. I think that just comes from like your personality, or you know, being a writer is coming up with like random little ideas and stuff, because maybe you're constantly in that, or not constantly, but more so in that mindset of storytelling than people who don't write, who are obviously thinking about other things. So yeah, I'd say there's like a more random mental element to it, where I could be doing anything and I just have an idea pop into my head. But there's so many things that I gather inspiration from within the whole writing process. I'd say movies can be a very big inspiration. Reading other books are like such an inspiration to me, especially I notice when I'm writing or like putting a lot of focus into my book, reading something of the same genre is so helpful, because I think from like a technical writing aspect point of view, it just kind of puts me in the mind of, how do I word this, you know, of like writing in that writing style, if that makes sense. So for example, the last while now I've been reading like a lot of fantasy or dystopian novels, specifically like young adult, and just being in the mindset of that writing style has helped me a lot when it comes to writing my own books, because my mind is kind of already in like that mindset. I gather inspiration from music for sure. Like there are so many playlists on my Spotify. Music, I gather inspiration from real life moments, and it's not always just like my real life. I think a lot of the time people have asked me, like especially when it came to like If the Crown Fits or Till Death Do Us Part, like what inspiration did you gather from your own personal life that went into the story? And truth be told, there's nothing like super literal. I'm sure there are elements that of like my personal character that I share with the characters in the books, as we all kind of do to some degree, but there isn't like a specific moment in time that I can pin down and say like, oh, this is based on a specific moment in my life. I do have plans for that kind of in future stories, but that's a whole other discussion. So yeah, I'd say a little bit of real life around me, a little bit of books, a little bit of music, a little bit of everything, kind of just all accumulating together in my brain, and then somewhere in that chaotic mess of things we get stories like this. What character do you feel the closest to? I'm assuming we're talking about this book. Probably Lara. So I do love Scott as a main character, but I think Lara is just a little bit closer to my heart. Maybe it's because I relate to her a little bit more than I do to Scott. Okay, now I want to get to the writing update part of this. I've noticed a few minor plot holes, which I know in draft 5 I'm just as unimpressed and disappointed as you are, because honestly, but I'm kind of on like a flow now, so I don't want to go back now and I don't know, break the flow of where we're at now, because we only have a few chapters left and I'd really like to finish it by tomorrow. So I think I'm going to go through, I'm just making notes of like the 1 or 2 things that I need to fix, and then tomorrow I'll like just scan through it again and add the few sentences here or there. Other than that, progress is pretty good. I mean, we're at chapter 26 out of 33 chapters, so we're getting there. We might actually be able to finish this draft by tomorrow, which is really exciting. And then I should probably ask people to beta read it. That'd be a good idea.